Welcome to Winning Cipher. I am Dr. Jaws Imperial. You got MFC, Freeze, Lotus, living off the usual, US Breaks, Winning Cipher.
Good afternoon. You've reached Winning Cipher. This is MFC and Big Freeze today, and we're coming to you live with a story in regards to James Tim Norman, his verdict that just came down. Um, James James Tim Norman is 43 years old. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. He's the son of Sweetie Pie's owner, Robbie Montgomery. Um,
Mm.
and he was just found guilty after 19 hours. It only took the jury 19 hours to bring back a jury, a guilty plea of all charges, and he was charged with assault for hire, for murder for hire of his nephew, who's only
Mm.
21 years old. His nephew is Andre and Andre Montgomery. And the sad part about it is that the DA and also the FBI was involved with this also, and they had information in regards to they had text messages. They had incriminating statements from three alleged co-conspirators. They also had record jail calls. They had location tracking, and they had money trails and stuff. So they had a lot of evidence against him, and
Mm.
so the sad part about it is this was his own, and this is all for an insurance thing. He took out Norman took out an insurance policy for his nephew for $450,000.
That's a lot
Okay,
of money.
that's a lot of money. Okay. And the sad thing is this is family. And so, and the co-conspirators, they all testified about what part they played in it and how basically he was lured by an exotic dancer outside. So that way the person that shot him shot and kill him. And then they were paid off. And they all testified and got lower sentences. And also, they also went after the insurance agent, and he pled guilty in wire fraud this past July. Okay, so it was a really really sad case in the sense that um, in the Texas it had that one of the texts he sent to his grandmother. The FBI Special Agent Christopher Faber testified that in that text to his grandmother, he um, um, and Andre had to leave St. Louis in fear of his life because he felt his uncle had people after him to hurt him.
Mm.
Okay, and
Mm.
he went in and he did a polygraph test, and 4 days after he did the polygraph test is when he was killed.
Wow.
So,
So his uncle took out the insurance policy
hmm
and got him set up to be killed.
yes, yes,
That
yes, and that's
and so
that's and yeah,
and
that's
so the nephew took a polygraph test. So apparently everything his nephew was saying was true.
right.
Uh.
Right, because what happened was briefly right before this whole incident, he had already planned this like 2 months before, but
Okay.
right before that, the mother, which was Norman's mother, which
Ah.
was Andre's grandmother, was on vacation. While she was on vacation, her house was robbed, and they
Oh.
got
Okay.
$220,000 worth of cash, jewelry, and other items that was stolen. So I believe that for Andre, he wanted to come in and do a polygraph test that he was not involved with this robbery,
Okay.
and he
Okay.
felt it was his uncle, right? So when he
Mm.
went in and did all that, and then all this stuff was provided, like he provided the information that he had from his uncle, and then they did an investigation, and these are the things they found, you know, and like I said, of 2 months also the FBI special agent Faber also 2 months before they found texts between Norman and a cousin claiming that he had recently been evicted from his apartment, his St. Louis apartment, and he had more than $91,000 in monthly expenses with no money coming in while the TV show was on hiatus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that show, MSC?
Mm. No, I'm one of those people that get up early in the morning and work late at night and come home and just turn into a zombie.
Because the family owned a restaurant in St. Louis,
Yes,
and the show was a very big show some years back. I don't know if it still came on TV or not, but I know some
right,
years back it was a big show, and
right.
so
And it was like for five, it was on 5 seasons from what I understand.
okay, yep, and like I said, the family owned the restaurant.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's man, that's a terrible thing to hear. I mean, I would understand, it, taking out an insurance policy. He know. See, at the end of the day, it's an easy case. It's an open and shut case.
Yeah.
Because it looked like he had a motive to do it.
Yes.
So, and then with his text messages and all that, not thinking that these detectives is going to go through those messages and things like that for
Yeah.
investigation. You got to be smarter than that. And hell,
Hmm.
for, first of all, he should have did it no way. That's his blood, his flesh
Yeah.
and blood, his
Yeah.
sister's son, right?
Yes.
Like how could you do that to your own nephew? Did the sister and the uh the uncle get along or no or what? What
I
was that
guess
issue like?
from what I understand, they did get along. But I don't know if it was from jealousy. That part I don't know. But I mean, when you look at the pictures and stuff like that, I was told it was a really good show. It was in positive.
Yeah, it
It was a
was.
positive show and stuff.
Yeah,
So again, it's you hear this stuff and it's like, it's like they make this for TV, so that, this is something you would see in a movie,
right,
this kind of thing. Like, who thinks these things up?
right. See, I hate to see stuff like this happen because that show had a positive, black image, one of the few positive black images on TV, and then for something like this to happen, I mean, come on now, that makes us look bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely make the family look bad, and I know they're going through a lot. But
yeah,
I mean, that's terrible.
yeah,
That's terrible. At the end
yeah.
of the day.
It is.
So,
It is.
yeah, with this situation, I mean, heart goes out to the family and
Yeah.
everything. So shoot, probably after this, they probably won't even show any reruns.
Yeah, maybe not. This might kill that because, of what, because then in residue payments, then he would be part of it, or his estate then would get the money or something, because when shows keep replaying and stuff, they still get paid.
Right,
So,
right.
so
Now,
then probably his estate would get it, as they call it, you
now
know.
he was a felon already, right?
From what I understand, I believe he was,
Okay.
you know.
And so he
It,
got out and got a second chance, and did really well,
yes,
because of the show.
yes,
And he messed all of that up for what?
yeah,
I mean, why did?
because yeah, like the
Uh,
defense attorney, his defense attorney claims that his client's being framed, and basically that he had a whole bunch of cars and he has a lot of money, and he lives a high lifestyle, so he didn't need the insurance money. But then you see how that's contradicted by the text that went out to the cousin. And then
hmm.
I guess, and that's one thing, with the FBI and stuff, and these guys start going into your financial stuff, and
Right, right,
they could see exactly what's moving around and everything. Now,
exactly.
even though he was found guilty, from what I understand, in December, I think it's December 6th, let's see, in December 15th will be when his sentencing, and he could get up to life in prison.
Mm,
But
mm,
there's
mm.
not, so he's going to be back in court for the sentencing part of it.
Mm, mm,
So this is, I feel for the family because it's like, here's the mother, she lost, she lost a son to this, or even from what I understand, during this whole time, he acted like the grieving uncle,
okay. Now,
and he denied everything.
how did everything come about originally? Like, what was him and his nephew's beef about?
Well, from what I understand, there wasn't a beef. It was always that there was some kind of, that the uncle was, something must have happened, because from what I understand, the nephew felt threatened
Okay.
by the behavior of the
Right.
uncle,
Mm-hmm.
okay, of Norman. So, and that's why he left, St. Louis. But the thing is that, we don't know what built up to that.
Right.
So
Exactly.
again, it's like he was the adult, where his nephew was a younger kid, at the time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how much of a threat could he be? Is it because of jealousy, or is it because he's younger? More people were, maybe the fans were writing in more about his nephew versus him.
Mm-hmm.
It could be so many different things, and then we don't also know about the makeup of what's happening at home.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's a lot of behind the scenes thing. Like, maybe they could be a dysfunctional family off camera. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Uh, I mean that could definitely be a situation. Uh, I don't know if he had any type of mental illness. We don't know. We just don't know.
right,
So,
right. It's
so
you know,
at the end of the day, it is just a sad story. Something I definitely hate to report on, but that's what's going on.
yeah. And
That's what's
since
going
this
on.
is news and stuff, this was something Winning Cipher wanted to make sure that people got out and heard, because so many people don't look at the regular news.
Right,
So we come to this platform here, and we always try to give updating news and comments and things like that. And so we felt this was definitely an important subject to bring out, to let our viewers know. But it again, it's another sad story. It's like, family, that you're hurting your own family. It's not even like the outsider. This was,
right,
your enemy was within.
exactly, exactly.
you know
So
and,
yeah,
and it,
like I said, just gotta, I don't know what's next with that. I mean, he just got out. You said December 5th, 2015.
no, 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 on December 15th of this year will be his sentencing date. Like, they just
Oh,
found
okay.
him guilty, right? They just found him guilty of all
Oh,
charges.
okay.
So,
How long he been out of jail?
well, he hasn't been out of jail, he's been in jail.
No, no, I'm saying like, okay, so he was a felon already, right?
From what I understand, when he was a felon and came out, his mom's, um, Robbie Montgomery, gave him a job on this, working with
On the
her
show.
at the restaurant. And then
Mhm.
when they did the reality show, she plugged him in for that also. So,
Okay, okay.
she, like, giving him, like you said before, a second chance.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay, okay.
and and this could have been something, like, if you're not living that high lifestyle and stuff, the money that you get, that could last you a long time. You say you invest it the right way.
Right,
You don't go out
exactly.
there and buy, how many cars can you drive at a time,
Right.
or stuff like that,
You got to be financially literate. Got to
exactly.
learn these different things because
Yeah,
I mean the money, like the Bible say, a fool in his money shall soon part. You
yeah,
know, so if you're not, trying to learn more about your finances and stuff like that, especially when you have it, you'll lose it.
yes,
And when people get up to a certain status and they lose that, that drives people crazy.
yeah,
So I mean, I don't know if he started losing it or what. I don't know. I mean, I know what he's saying, but like you said, with the text message, it kind of contradicts itself. So
yeah.
I don't know.
It contradicts what the defense is saying. But the sad thing is that, when you start living outside your means, it's like someone that hits lotto. first place.
Right.
They go, and the next
Exactly.
thing they go, they buy a yacht. Now, what are you gonna do with a
Yep.
yacht? And the average person, they don't even realize how much it costs to put a yacht somewhere, to
Mm.
pay for to pay for the oil that it has to, that you have to, fill it up with and stuff like that. It's a big upkeep, and that's why, like you said before about financial, literacy and stuff like that. If you don't have that, you could go through millions easy,
Yep.
parties, spending crazy stuff, and buying an island here and there and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Right. Hmm.
first time you have money, like you treating everybody, you're like, here's $100, here's $100, walking in the street and stuff like that. But this hits really sad to home in the sense that, you have people that are doing things for the insurance money,
Hmm.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
given a second chance, it should have been more that he took care of family. Like him being the older, out of the younger people on the show, he should have been like, up, I say as a supporting role, he should have been more of a mentoring role to these
Hmm.
youngers, because at 21, he's still, Andre was still young. He was still finding himself. This
Right.
guy here, he's
Hmm.
43, so so the whole story, when you hear that, it's really sad. But this was something, it just came out, it's news breaking, and we wanted to make sure from Winning Cipher that we got this out to our audience and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like we always say, please hit the like and subscribe button below, and keep coming back. And we'd like to thank everybody on this Sunday afternoon for coming and joining us. Um, and everyone have a good evening. And would you like to close it up with something, Big Freeze?
That's it. Like, subscribe, and share on all your social media networks. Thank you. We out.
We
Winning
out.
Cipher.
Winning Cipher.